Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day or a wonderful night. This is Tea Time True Crime with Katie. Hello, and I am Katie. Now, our stories are not for the faint of heart, and if you're feeling like a little bad in your mental health these days, maybe you should not listen to this video. But that's okay. If you are feeling up to par, well, let's do it. We're going to talk about an amazing survivor story. This is a survivor story, and I've been doing quite a few of those. I guess, the higher power is leading me to these stories that are not really talked about. This story was talked about on a few Investigation Discovery Channel shows, and I'm going to quickly, well, not quickly, but like summarize the story that she has already been talking about and saying. It is a really sad story. There is not a death, but there is definitely a death of dreams. And I feel like in a lot of cases that may be worse. So why don't you guys just relax, take a deep breath, and we are going to talk about the amazing story of Natalie Purdie. Now, the tea I'm having today, if you are listening, I have a red mug. It looks like a little cauldron, and it says Dead Thirsty on it. It's orange and has red on it, and it's in black letters. I got this from Retro Daddios. I talked about them before in my one of my podcasts. So again, one of her amazing mugs. Definitely go to Retro Daddios. I've been getting messages about, well, where do you get your jewelry? So I'm trying my best to let people know. The earrings I have gotten from J Bloom. If you want more information, definitely DM me about that. Nikki is your girl, okay? She'll take care of you. The jewelry is very different, beautiful, and I love, because to me it's like original, and I'm all about that life. My rings are Etta Love, and then I have gemstones and mobile psychic services. She has an amazing jewelry that she blesses, and it's very affordable, and she is a gift to God. She really, really is. Another thing I do have is I have jewelry from the Green Cauldron. The Green Cauldron is a metaphysical shop, an apothecary actually, one in Williamsburg and then another in Charlottesville. Definitely treat yourself and check them out. You will not be sorry. None of the products that I talk about are sponsored in this video. I just personally like them and just want to let you guys know. So yes, Jeannie is an amazing medium. If you want a reading with her, do it. It will literally change your life. And also her book, Spiritual Healing, and she has another book coming out, and then she does these amazing crystal affordable bracelets that she blesses and just gives wonderful vibes. So before I get started, warning, viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to be talking about gaslighting, teen violence, domestic disputes, and just sad stuff. So let's get to it, and remember, you are wonderful, you are special, and you are loved. I just want to let all you guys know that who is listening. So again, let's go with Natalie Purdie. So Natalie Purdie is this beautiful woman, and she's still alive, and this tragedy happened in the 1980s. But it took 20 years to get some kind of justice done. So Natalie Purdie used to live with her mother in New York before her mother was mugged right outside her apartment. Following the incident, like every other mother, Natalie's mother started worrying about her daughter's safety. So Natalie's parents then decided to move Natalie to her grandmother's residence in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, she had this fascinating personality and allowed her to adapt quite easily to her surroundings. She was progressed really well in her school in Virginia, making new friends and making a really nice social life around her. Natalie is very beautiful. She has this light around her, and she has this incredible smile that is just charismatic. And yeah, and to this day, even in her later years, she is, yeah, she's still looks incredible. So even though Natalie was a new kid in Norfolk, Virginia, she is 18 years old and she really wants to dance. She is a dancer and she decides to be in the dance school troupe or trope. I don't know how that goes. Is it troupe or trope? I think it's trope. Anyway, it basically fueled her dream to become a dancer. And this chick, Natalie, you guys, she went hard on these dreams. I'm talking about like Save the Last Dance. Now I'm really showing my age. I'm talking about Center Stage. She really, really wanted to be a dancer. And if you don't know, I love movies, so I may talk about movies in some of my podcasts. So let me know down below if you know what I'm talking about. Yes, millennial life. So Natalie really wanted to be a dancer, and she was quite incredible at it. She worked hard all the time, got great grades in school, and she just wasn't boy crazy, you know? She just really wanted to focus on dancing. But with her beautiful looks and her charismatic personality, she attracted someone, and his name was Kevin Bullock. Bullock, like Sandra Bullock, but it's Kevin Bullock. You know what? I don't even care about this dude. Whatever. Anyway, he is the not cool guy at all, guys. Like this guy surprised the crap out of me. Because I feel like when there is a domestic dispute or violence or something like that, there's usually something that escalates to that in domestic relationships. There's usually screaming and yelling and name calling and alienation and gaslighting, you know, like, oh, I'm so sorry that you feel this way, or I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's all in your mind. Yeah. Sorry, that brought up some feelings there. But yeah, that was my past. But I know about it. I know about gaslighting. So in this story, it's so special and different because this guy didn't show any of those symptoms at all. Like anything. That's what's horrifying. Okay? So basically, Natalie gets a ride from her grandmother to go to her dance, dance rehearsals, dance recitals, stuff like that. So she meets Kevin, okay? He's a little older, I think like a year or something, and he's very handsome, very charismatic, and very polite and kind. Now, it starts off with, like, hey, how you doing? If you ever need anything, let me know, and I'll give you a ride, because he would offer her rides, and she's like, no, it's cool. My grandma got me, But then one day, her grandma didn't get her, and she couldn't find a ride. So she called Kevin, and Kevin was more than willing to give her a ride to, to dance. And he was so supportive and encouraging. And she, in the beginning, felt like these were friend vibes, like total friend zone vibes. Natalie really wanted to focus on her dance, and she didn't want, boy crazy mind to go in the way. Now, according to the reenactment of the episode I watched, that Kevin was totally kind of friend zoned in the beginning, you guys, in the beginning, okay? And then she kind of started seeing this guy named Marcus. They met at a party, they talked on the phone, and she just realized he wasn't for her, okay? But Kevin was watching always in the background. He seemed like a creeper. You know what I'm saying? He seemed to like follow her. And he, again, she didn't know, or she wouldn't have like actually had a relationship with this guy. So Marcus wasn't working out. It said in the reenactment that one Christmas that Marcus got her tickets to the Nutcracker, which is unbelievable. Amazing gift, right, you guys? Apparently got orchestra streets, but then when she found out the date of it, which was December 21st, she goes, Marcus, I can't go. And he's like, what? What do you mean? She goes, that's the day of my recital. And Marcus is like, well, can't you just skip it? And she's like, no, I cannot. So, I mean, it's a very sweet gesture. But again, Marcus kind of changes, you know? She just realizes, okay, well, maybe he's not for me. It really seemed like he wasn't very supportive of her dreams, especially when you tell her to skip a recital when her life is dancing, okay? So she starts to like pull back, and she tells the guy, you know, Marcus, like, hey, I care about you a lot, but I really need to focus on dancing. And of course he's like, what are you trying to say? And she's just like, listen, she pretty much ends that relationship with her and Marcus. So after a while, she needs a ride again, and she stopped pretty much talking to Kevin for like months, because she was kind of seeing Marcus. And I guess Kevin had something going on too, because they didn't start talking again. And again, this guy did not show any signs. I mean, it's really friggin' scary, because usually we women, we get signs, we get gut feelings, but the way the show is going and the way the interview's going, there was none until they started dating. So Kevin Bullock is back into her life, and even though she said she wanted to focus on dance, she kind of started dating Kevin. Now, before you come at me in the comments like she's messing with people's emotions, blah blah blah. Okay, number one, she's a teenager. Okay, men and women do it. Men and women follow their heart. They can change their minds. Okay, enough said. So she starts seeing Kevin, and things seem really well. He buys her nice things. He's very supportive. He goes to all of her recitals. Just an amazing boyfriend, it seems like. And she's just like, you know, they're talking on the phone. Yes, that's very important. They're talking on the phone. They're getting to really know each other. And her grandmother warned her before they even started dating, you know, careful, do not like try to string along this boy, you know. And she's like, oh, Grandma, no, we know we're friends. Even though in the beginning her and Kevin were friends, the way she started out, they actually started dating. So they weren't, yeah. But yeah, that's between her and Kevin. So Kevin and Natalie are doing really well in the relationship. He buys her things, and he goes to all her recitals, and it seems like he doesn't yell at her. He's very patient, even keel kind of dude, right? And then one day, Natalie's dream just comes out of nowhere. It was a famous school for dance, and she was up for an audition, like the movie Say the Last Dance, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. And so Natalie is so excited, but she realizes she really needs to focus on her career and her dreams and her passion and her goals. So when she goes, so in 1986, Kevin goes to meet with Natalie, and she basically told him that she would not be able to commit to a relationship. Like, she's serious now. Like, she is red tea. So he is like, oh, okay, you know, maybe later. And she's like, oh, maybe, you know. And then all of a sudden he talks about them getting married. And she's only like 18, maybe 19 years old. You're a kid. No offense. But you're very young to have this huge commitment. She already has a commitment in her life, and that is her dreams, her passion. So again, he brings it up. He's like, you know, yeah, he's like, yeah, I have space, that's fine. But, you know, when we get married, you know. And she was thinking, Natalie was like, okay, maybe years down the line we're getting married. No, he was not thinking that at all. He was thinking like ASAP. One day, like I said, in 1986, he goes with empty boxes and starts packing up her stuff. And Natalie is there clipping her senior pictures and I guess doing some kind of collage. You know what I'm saying? Or a vision board. Who knows? How cool would that be, right? Trendsetter. And so what happens is that she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And he's like, well, we're getting married. He goes, my parents, you're gonna move in with me and my parents. We're getting a bigger house. And she's like, what? No, like, I want to take a break. I want to focus on my dreams. And she like turns around like in disgust, like, dude, you got to get and she says, quote unquote, that God, the Lord, told her to turn around. And she turned around, and as soon as she turned around, it was too late. Kevin had the scissors that she was cutting her senior pictures with. Yes. And then what he does, even though the grandmother is home, okay, he walked in and said hi to the grandma, and he still did what he did. Warning, I'm about to get incredibly graphic right now. So Natalie she turned around because she said God told her to. And I guess thank goodness in a way, because he didn't get her in the spinal cord. I don't know, but it could have been a lot worse, even though this is pretty bad what happened to Natalie. So she turns around and he has the scissors in his hand. And out of nowhere, he just starts stabbing her. And she's screaming, and there is blood everywhere. And she's yelling to him, yes, I'll marry you. I'll marry you. Just screaming at him, thinking that he would stop. And he didn't stop. So the grandmother hears her granddaughter screaming. So she goes upstairs to Natalie's room and thinking that he is just punching her until she comes closer and sees the silver in his hand and blood. And the grandmother, for a split second, is like, do I go and attack this man? Or, thank goodness, do I go and call 911? Now again, no judgment please, because you don't know what you would do. I don't want to hear it. You really don't know. It happened so fast. But when the grandmother looked at Kevin, he stopped stabbing Natalie for a second. And then when the grandmother walked away to call 911, he began stabbing her again. He stabbed her in the torso. He stabbed her like everywhere. He stabbed her in her head, in her brainstem. Yeah, horrible. He ended up stabbing her 30 times. And her body went into shock. And when Kevin heard grandmother talking to 911, he stopped stabbing her and ran out of the house. Just ran out of the house. Natalie is taken and to the hospital, and she is not good. She's lost a lot of blood, and the doctor said that half of her body is paralyzed. She would have to read and write. She had to learn to read and write and walk again. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that means she can never dance again. Her dreams are over. She will work so hard. She worked so hard to start walking and reading and talking again. She almost was blind permanently in her eye because the way he stabbed her, it hit nerves. I mean, this guy, what a psycho. So while she's in the hospital, you guys won't believe this because I didn't either. I almost like threw up. He calls her while she's in the hospital bed. And he's like, I checked myself in at a psychiatric hospital. It's gonna be okay, Natalie. We're gonna be together. And she is so scared. She doesn't even like comprehend she is so terrified. Like her own sister comes in to go and see her sister, and she is screaming. Natalie is screaming. She keeps thinking Kevin is right there. So she has horrible, horrible PTSD right now. And it just gets to bad to worse. So you're thinking, wow, Katie, this guy, he's got attempted murder, right? Did he get charged with attempted murder? I'm about to like burst your bubble, because my bubble was burst and I started crying because this is so unbelievably sad, and I cannot believe anyone could be treated this way. After that happened, Natalie moved back to New York because she didn't feel safe in Virginia anymore. She felt that New York was a lot of people, and she'd be with people there that she trusted and everything like that, and people could look at her more, look after her more. So when the police go and charge Kevin, he actually ends up, I believe, I'm not sure if it was before or after, this is what doesn't make any sense to me, but he went into the military. Yeah, he was like in the military. He like disappeared. Yeah, because it took like over a year or something for like the courts to go through her case. It's something stupid like that, I believe. So he's in the military, and then he got this really nice lawyer, paid good money, and you're thinking, wow, well, did he get like any jail time, Katie? Did he get in jail at all? This monster, he did not receive any jail time for stabbing Natalie 30 times, for taking away her dreams. Sorry, you guys. So she moved back to Virginia. Years later, got married, had children. Sadly ended in divorce. And one day she said she was shopping and she felt that Kevin was there, and she turned around and he was right behind her. She said 20 years later after that happened, because this is like 20 years it happened, she couldn't believe it. She went right into just like shock again, and it was just unreal. Natalie is just trying to pull her life together. And but Kevin is free. Kevin was free for a very long time. Years and years later, after 20 years, Natalie gets a visit from the police. And they say that what happened to you was not justified. You did not receive justice for what happened to you. But Natalie, if you come and testify against Kevin this time, I promise you, you will receive justice. And Natalie is startled. What happened? Well, Kevin, a sick bastard that he is, he was dating someone at the time and verbally assaulted her and physically assaulted her. And I don't know if he beat her, they won't say, but it's not really good. And the police wanted Natalie to testify against him to show that he is not a good guy and he does not need to be out. Excuse me. This is time where I need a sip of tea, right? After you cry, you need or tear up. Forgot to sip the tea, guys. I was just so impacted by the story. I just really, really want to tell it because she is amazing. She is now Natalie in Georgia, and she actually opened her own ministry. And she has these organizations. You can actually personally email her at nataliepurdie@yahoo.com. I will list that in the description below. and she wants to help any woman or man with teen violence, because she says domestic violence happens both ways. 1 out of 4 men and 1 out of 3 women. Every 9 seconds a woman gets beat up, which is horrifying to hear. Like, I'm sorry, what? Okay, I get too ahead of myself, you guys. Kevin finally got prison sentence for his assault on his girlfriend. I swear they also put her malicious wounding on his as well, because this guy got 35 years in prison. He gone. He done. That is the largest and like double of what usually Virginia does for assault or malicious wounding. So, yes, he is currently serving 35 years in prison. And Natalie, like I said, is a motivational speaker, and she helps victims of domestic violence and advocates against the very relevant and rampant social issue. She actually shares her story with organizations, churches, shelters, schools, on television, and also through her social media accounts. She is not afraid to speak out. She actually spoke at the 27th South Atlantic Regional Conference at the Virginia Beach Convention Center, organized by the Virginia Beach Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority in 2016. She has been a guest speaker at the Portsmouth Department of Social Services Fatherhood Mentoring Program. And wherever she goes, she provides support and raises awareness about domestic violence. Now, that story is incredibly sad, and she is amazing for telling her story all the time and just helping people. I mean, like, incredible. Let me know what you guys think about the story below, at the comments below. Like, share, add me on the socials. And if Natalie, you're watching this or listening, you're amazing. Like, you are truly a gift from God, an angel. And I thank so much for people like you, because people who feel like they have nowhere to turn to, or that no one cares, there are people like you in the world that make a difference. And that means so much to me and to a lot of other people I love and care about. Ooh, okay. So if you guys have any questions or DMs, please talk to her. Natalie Purdie is amazing, and look for the signs. But weirdly, she did have a weird gut feeling, because he was pretty needy. He went really far, really fast. Make sure, you know, she said that he didn't pressure her to do things, but the whole marriage thing, and he was a nice gentleman. That's why she just doesn't understand, because we women have alarm bells in our body, like, this doesn't feel right. Now, if you have that feeling, you are not crazy. You need to follow that feeling. You never know. You never know. Thank you so much for listening or watching today. I really appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there, and remember, you are doing better than you think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.